Hey guys, it's Adam from LUCIDPIXUL and welcome back. Hopefully you're comfy right now. Maybe you're sitting down, you're drawing something, maybe got a pair of headphones on and you're lost in your little creative bubble. I thought I'd take a moment to share with you probably one of the most important life lessons I've ever learned, and hopefully today's art talk will, in some way, big or small, influence you in a positive way. Maybe give you a greater sense of perspective on your own life and a greater sense of purpose if maybe you feel like you're lacking it right now. Maybe you feel like you've been through some shit. Maybe you feel like you have no idea where you're going with your life. Maybe you feel like you're dealing with so many emotional obstacles. You're so stuck in this thorn bush of life that you don't know what to do with yourself. Let me offer you a little bit of clarity. And in doing so, it's going to explain a lot. It's going to explain a lot about why I do what I do, why my YouTube channel and why my career took the turn that it did to become what it is today. Where my true sense of purpose comes from. Heck, why my channel is named what it is. And what's giving me the courage to be able to share these thoughts and feelings with you. Although what I'm going to be sharing with you today isn't particularly candid or hard. What I'm sharing with you comes from a place of inspiration. What I'm sharing with you comes from a place of respecting and appreciating the gift that I've received, and many of us have received, from brave people out there. I've had the week to myself. My family's been out of town, and I'm being a father of 3 kids. Well, 3 plus a grown-up kid who's always out, but she's still my baby nonetheless. It gave me an overwhelming excess of time to think. When you're used to having a busy house with people who are constantly demanding your attention, you get used to that kind of rhythm. So you get used to being at the service of other people, right? So when you find yourself all of a sudden being a guy and his cat, who's been my best companion all week, just spending that time alone together, your brain goes into overdrive. You start to overthink. You start to concern yourself with how productive you're being because I have nothing to do. Well, apart from producing videos, producing artwork, that kind of stuff. But I did that, and seeing as how I didn't have any overwhelming responsibilities apart from that, I just had this excess of time. And during that time, I watched a couple of videos. I've been watching quite a few videos, and I've listened to other people share their feelings, and I've been noticing more and more every day that there's a lot of people out there that are having a hard time. There's a lot of people out there that in this day of social media really put on a really brave face. They put their makeup on, they get that attitude going, they get their hair done, they get the lighting on, they start recording on their microphone, and they do their thing. They put on their show. And what's particularly interesting nowadays, how entertainment, which is a term I use lightly in this context, has changed in the last 10, 20 years, since YouTube, since Twitch, since TikTok and all that kind of stuff. How it's changed is that the big names, the big entertainers, the big celebrities aren't as much the movie stars. the ones who are live behind, beautiful, ornate cast iron gated fences, gated homes, and, every now and then do their cribs tour where they show off their multi-million-dollar home, isolated from society, with secure 24-hour security. Those aren't the people who are really the biggest names, the biggest celebrities, the most watched, the most followed. It's people like you and me. It's YouTubers. It's people with the courage to stand behind a camera and open up to their audience. Some YouTubers will they'll treat it like being a celebrity. They'll put on a big performance. They'll put on a face. They'll put on a big act. And I'm not calling them out as in a negative way. Just that's their style. They're more the entertainers. They're more of the flashy ones. They put on a character, which isn't their true self in real life, usually in most part. But a lot of YouTubers out there, especially the ones I've been listening to this week, tend to be a little bit more themselves, tend to be a lot more candid, tend to be a lot more honest. And that's where people like Jenna Marbles comes from, and that's where people like Colleen Ballinger come from, and that's where people like who I've been listening to this week, a couple that I've been listening to this week, Darius, Swoop, and although they do their videos and they do their tutorials and they have their flashy personalities and they have their characters and they're loved for it, that doesn't pull them away from every now and then dropping the face, dropping the act, and letting you know what's really going on in their life. And some of these people, some of these YouTubers, I'm not going to call them influencers because that's such a commercial word, an influencer and their sponsors. No, these are people, but these are people, these are creators that really knocked the wind out of my lungs this week. They really surprised me, impressed me, and showed me a sign of their humanity that a lot of people don't have the courage to do. A lot of people don't have the courage to air their vulnerabilities, their dirty laundry, to massive audiences. That takes a lot of balls to do something like that. You could say they're doing it for attention. You could do it because they know that they get clicks, and they know that they get ad revenue from that kind of shit. But no, you can pick out a phony. It's very easy to pick out phonies. People have very good radars for phonies. We deal with that kind of shit all the time. I'm sure we're all very familiar with the phonies out there, right? But Darius, kind of, he went quiet for a little while, and he comes back. And this guy who creates regular content, I've been a huge fan of his channel for years. I've learned tons of things from him, and he comes back and he explains why he went dark for a while. He opened up about a very, very intense, very severe autoimmune reaction that just happened. This kind of nightmare he went through with this very severe case of psoriasis, basically encompassed his entire head. That's scary. I have a bit of psoriasis myself, but nothing like what he's experienced. He just got attacked with it, and very quickly his whole head was covered with it. He didn't shy the camera away from that. He didn't hide it behind a hat. Because it was all over his scalp. He got in close. He did an entire, very well-made, very in his skilled filmmaking style, did a whole documentary about his whole experience, and it was very dramatic and it's very personal. And at the end of it, he takes his hat off. He uncovers his face and he shows it to everybody. Was he trying to get attention? No. He wasn't trying to get, that's not the kind of attention people want to get. He wants to be known for being clever and for being cute and for being charming and being talented. He doesn't want to be known for being this vulnerable guy, for being this guy who's, as Tyler Durden from Fight Club would say, composed of the same decaying organic matter as everything else on this planet. He's a human being, and he's experiencing autoimmune disease for the first time, where his body is attacking itself. I know all about that kind of stuff. I've got hypothyroid. I've got a bit of psoriasis. I'm sure I'm probably going to be getting arthritis sometime soon, if not already. I've started to get little aches and pains and stuff like that. I know what that's about, but I don't point the camera at it. I don't draw attention to it. Oh, it's nothing like what he's got. For me, my autoimmune disease is more inside. It's not so much on the exterior. But how did I feel listening to that? Well, I'll get to that. But then, Swoop, who I listen to all the time as well. Lovely, beautiful woman. Funny, charming, really, really smart, incredible filmmaker. You know, she's just, I get glued to her YouTube videos. I love what she produces. And she's been talking a lot about this, the whole Amber Heard Johnny Depp trial. I even had a video of my own where I shared a little bit about my own story. But what I've been through, what I experienced, whew, that doesn't hold a candle next to what she opened up about. I mean, she's been very open about her experiences with what she calls DD and SA. I won't say it, because algorithms. But she opened up. She took her makeup off. She put the lights on her, and she fought tooth and nail to get through this video where she just opened up about how all of this trauma she's been through is all started resurfacing when she made certain realizations researching about these subjects over the last few weeks and months. And holy shit, man. You can tell by her reaction what the true face of that kind of experience has. I mean, you can feel it. You can feel it. And then another YouTuber who I won't talk about because he isn't somebody who has so much gone public about this, not to the same degree, but he too, I'm listening to this creator, and he gently opens up about the fact that he's starting to get a little overwhelmed. He's a loved, celebrated creator, and he's starting to feel it. He's starting to feel this overwhelm, this overwhelm, this burnout, this impending doom, this exhaustion, whatever it is. I don't know what he's feeling precisely, but in the gentlest way that he could, without sounding too dramatic, he made a very quiet call for help. I myself, in my own videos, have opened up about some of my own vulnerabilities. Nothing compared to what Swoop and Darius and this other creator has opened up about. But I have always found it necessary, I don't know why, to use my channel to be very, very candid about my experiences and the challenges professionally and personally as an artist. And sometimes even sharing personal stories that go beyond art too, right? I've always done this. I've always found it necessary, even though I could very easily just shut up and be a YouTuber like I was for the first 8 years of my YouTube channel, or 7-8 years of my YouTube channel. Just doing tutorials, teaching people how to do different stuff, blah, 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 blah. Be an entertainer, shoot cool B-roll, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't. At a certain point, I turned around and I too said, no, I think I want to be that type of creator that that needs to be ugly sometimes. I need to be ugly. I need to be vulnerable. I need to be candid. For attention? I'm a father of 3. I'm a teacher. All I get is attention 24 hours a day. No, that's not why. I really honestly don't care. Maybe I'm a bit of a loner. I don't know, but I'm perfectly cool just being in my own little bubble. No. It's because I know that what I've been through is what you're going through or what you will go through. Most of us will. And the reason why I realized I was in a very, very powerful and very important position as a YouTuber, particularly when my channel started to pick up a little bit, was that I could provide you with, I could share with you something that I wish I had access to. I wish I had heard. I spent my entire artistic career in bookstores and writing out CVs and drawing in my sketchbook and hanging out in cafes, observing people, and going to school and studying 99.9% of the time completely on my own. I've heard many artists. I remember watching a documentary not that long ago from an older artist. I wish I could remember which video it was, talking basically about the fact that artists are lonely people. I spent so many years of my career failing, not getting any answer, being ghosted by companies, creating entire portfolios to impress a company that would barely even let me get past reception, and I would hand this portfolio that I put together for them that I was hoping I could show to a director because I spent my last $15 on that portfolio, and the receptionist says, "Oh, just give it to me, I'll give it to them." And I went, "Oh, but I can't afford another one." I spent all my money on those prints. Okay, here you go. And then nothing, no calls. Sometimes I get callbacks for company, for jobs 7-8 years after I applied. And then working for companies. And then, after a very lengthy, very frustrating period of unemployment and having my UI running out and having to move back in with my mom and having bill collectors, harassing me because I had to pay my phone bill and it's just, feeling really shitty about myself and feeling like just a failure. But out of, I don't know, maybe out of pure stubbornness or stupidity, I just kept going. I didn't give up. I kept trying. I mean, what the fuck else am I going to do? Just sit there and do nothing? No, I might as well do something. So I just, on my own, all on my onesies, did my best to keep myself motivated, keep going, and keep applying and keep trying and getting hired. And sometimes it worked out okay, but then I got laid off, and other times it didn't go out okay and I got sacked. And it's just this yin-yang, this back and forth bullshit life called being a fucking artist. And boy, oh boy, did I get so sick and tired of it. But I kept doing it. I kept doing it. Like a toxic relationship, I just effing kept doing it. And then one day, I was planning out a YouTube video. Another YouTube video tutorial on how to do this or how to do that. And I'm sitting there with my camera in my hand. And I put my camera down on the table and I said, I can't do this shit anymore. I am sick and tired of trying to make people happy. I'm sick and tired of trying to, not to make people happy, I'm sick and tired of trying to get attention. This isn't what I'm all about. This doesn't feel like me. This isn't the kind of attention I want. I don't want people to give me attention because I'm the popular guy. You know why? Because I'm not that cool 99% of the fucking time. Because most of the time I'm a very, very normal person. And I got to where I was as a YouTuber, as an artist, as a professional by eating a lot of bullshit. But I still managed to succeed. As my high school yearbook said, when it came to graduating high school, by the skin of my teeth, a Megadeth quote. Yeah, I think on a scale of 1 to 10, if you're going to rank, fluid, successful careers, mine was a good, enthusiastic 4 on 10. But then I decided, instead of doing another, typical generic YouTube video about how to do this and how to do that, because I knew that was very finite content. You're going to run out of shit to talk about, run out of lessons to teach. I decided, no. Why don't I instead become the voice, or at least speak my own voice, of what you might expect and how you can emotionally navigate around the shitty feelings you're going to have to deal with. Because I'm a lot better at that. I'm a lot better at that than being a hotshot, super dope artist. Being the number one most followed artist on ArtStation. To be completely honest with you, man, can I be straight with you? I've made little talks about this in the past, but ArtStation's cool and all, and it's a platform for us artists. And yeah, it's a place where you can go and research and discover other artists. But in all due honesty, I really don't fucking care for it that much. I really don't. It's just another fucking popularity contest, And every single time I watch YouTubers, other artist YouTubers that have that, I'm a hotshot Blizzard guy. Look at this beautiful painting that I've done. Let me roast your paintings. And they've got this, how many times am I going to have to tell you kids, you don't do that? And I'm sitting there going, you're a douchebag. Like, just shut the fuck up. You're a narcissist and a douchebag. Stop talking like you know better than everybody else. You are not better than everybody else. You're just another guy who's just doing his job. Your DNA is no better than every human being, every artist you're talking to on the platform. Shut up. Just shut the fuck up. You're cringy. You're a douche. I had to listen to and deal with people like that throughout my entire career. People who thought that the world was trying to impress them. People who thought that the world was trying to be them. And I'm sitting there going, no, I don't want to be you. I've been you. I've been in your shoes. I've seen your success. I've been the guy that people call fucking sir all the time. And you know what? There's no substance to it. It's total bullshit. Being a superior human being, being a beloved, cherished human being it's hollow. It's empty. It's bullshit. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't feel like anything. It doesn't do anything for you unless your goal is to be a dominator, which I honestly just don't give a shit about. I don't care about that kind of a title. The only thing that kept me going through all of those challenges, through any of those hardships, through any of those letdowns, and those few little successes that I've had that I've managed to show off well enough to get the attention of employers and shit like that, was producing art, putting a smile on somebody's face, making somebody feel like just knowing that I'm making that connection with another artist, where if and when I can produce that kind of art that makes a kid or another artist or somebody else go, oh, that's so cool, I want to do that. Oh, that's so cool, I want to create that. I want to be able to do that. Not to boast me, but to inspire you. I don't produce this art for myself. The satisfaction I get from producing this art is in sharing something with you that you can relate to. That I'm doing something that for some weird reason, because we share that artistic DNA, you can look at my painting and go, yeah, I feel that. I want that. I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to I want to be able to pull that out of my head too, in whichever shape and form it comes out of me. How do I do it? So what did I do? I started a school. I said, hey, you want to do this? Let me give it all. I'll give it all away to you. Just join my school and I'll teach you everything I have. Am I trying to make myself sound like some kind of saint? You know, some prophet? No. In fact, I find prophets to be cringy as shit. It's the reason why I stopped listening to Russell Brand. And I even mentioned this a couple of years ago, or maybe about a year ago. He started to feel like he was starting to fall off the handle a little bit. He was starting to get a little bit Jesus-y for my taste. And sure as shit, yeah. Fast forward 6 months later, and now he's just clickbaity bullshit. You know, he's just turning into a real flake, unfortunately. Hopefully he comes back to earth sometime soon. No, it's not about being a prophet. I want to be that voice I wish I could hear when I was 25. And I was sitting there thinking, oh my God, I'm 25 and I still don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with my life. Oh my God, I'm such a failure. Do you know how many 20 to 25-year-olds I talk to? Students, friends. My daughter's 21, so she's got a lot of friends her own age who are all around that age, and they're all aspiring professionals and stuff like that. Do you know how many people I talk to between the ages of 20 and 25, usually especially, or even 20 to 30, that say, I'm already 22 years old and I still haven't figured out what I want to do with my career. And I'm looking at them going, bruh, who the fuck knows what they're doing at 21 years old? Who's got their life settled at 21 years old? People are very often having their first serious relationships at 21 years old. People haven't had their first job, their first real job at 21 years old. They're right fresh out of school. Who put it in your head that you were supposed to be an established, seasoned professional at 25 when you haven't even had a chance to do that yet? You know, that's who put that in your head? But that's the kind of shit that I had in my head. But I had nobody to turn to. I didn't have any fellow artists I could turn to who could say, oh yeah, I went through that too. Do you know how much easier it would have made my journey as a professional if I had somebody sit next to me and go, yeah, we all go through that shit. So don't beat yourself up about it. You've got 2 kids. Chill the fuck out. Calm down. Don't worry about it. Your time's coming. Just keep going. If I had a person, even one person I could talk to who could relate to me and could relate to those feelings, man, it would have been so reassuring because I put all of that blame on myself. I always felt like I was the outcast. I always felt like everybody else in that studio was doing great. And there's Adam, you know, there's the goofy kid over there that thinks he's going to make it. And his mommy just loved him too much. She praised him too much and gave him false hopes. That's legitimately how I felt about myself. Even after finding success, I would find success and then I'd get sacked, or I'd find success and then I'd get laid off, and then I would get a shitty job after that. My self-esteem was like a tsunami. You know, the tide would go flat and then all of a sudden I'd get hit in the face with a 25-foot wave, you know? That was my career. And that's exactly what this channel is all about, and this is exactly what this video is about. So all of this brings me back. All of this brings me back to the whole reason why I made this channel and the whole reason why I'm making this video in the first place. What that biggest lesson I've ever learned in my life is, you're not put on this planet to get popular. At least not for the sake of popularity, because when and if you find that popularity, which you're very likely going to you're going to experience that. Everybody's going to become a hot shot one time in their life or another. You just got to find your shtick. You got to find your thing, right? But once that dust settles and you're sitting there going, here I am on the top of the mountain, and you take your flag and pack on the top of Mount Everest, and you goes, here I am. And you're practically dead, but you made it. And the oxygen is so thin, you're going to pass out way up high on the peak of your mountain. You're going to have to walk back down the other end eventually. You're going to have to come off that mountain eventually. So what are you going to do? Well, you're going to keep climbing mountains for the rest of your life? No. You made it, man. There you are. You've got the success. And you're going to need to maintain that success. Good. Some people give up very often. They chase after that milk truck, and once they catch the milk truck, they go, well, I don't know what the fuck to do with myself. They rip the bumper off the back of the milk truck, and they go home with it. And then they sit down next to their bumper for the next 25 years. I've seen it a million times. People who find that success and then just quit. So the whole reason they got there was for the success. No. The most important lesson I ever learned in my life is pay it forward. You're not put on this planet to be popular. You're put on this planet to get popular so that other people listen to you, so that you can let them know that when they go through shit, you've got their back. You've been through that too. You can be the voice of somebody who's been through that and can help them navigate through that challenge. It's very, very challenging. It's very difficult as a person to find a sense of purpose when that only purpose is yourself. But if you can step outside yourself and you can use your voice, use your talent, use your struggles, use your pains, use your psoriasis, use your hypothyroidism, use your unemployment, use your experiences, the painful DA or SA and DV experiences you've had, and you can be the voice to help other people get through it so they can realize that they're not the only ones who are going through it, and you can help other people grow, you'll realize that your value just shot up 600-fold. The best value I can offer you is some peace of mind that through the 16 million boring days you're going to experience ahead of you, and the 16 million days you're going to be ghosted by employers, and those days where you're going to feel you're going to see yourself on the security cam in your house, and you're going to go, that's what I look like from the back. Oh, Jesus Christ, I got to go back to the gym. Right? Yeah. Or you're sitting there and you get on the scale and you go, okay, maybe I'm not going to have dessert tonight. Yeah. Or maybe you get rejected by your partner because you wanted to be intimate with them and they weren't in the mood that day, and you're taking it personally. That we've all been through it. We all have. We've all been through that. I don't give a shit how popular you are. If you can stand in front of me with your eye and make eye contact with me and say that you don't experience that, I can guarantee you either you're nuts or you're full of shit. And I think that one of the greatest gifts that social media has granted me and is granting you is that you're a part of a community that can let you know it's cool. You're human. You're going to go through that shit. And as long as you remember what you love and why you love it, and as long as you're true to yourself and you get to know who you are and what matters most to you and find the most authentic form of expression you can share with your audience, you're going to realize that people are going to value you a whole lot more than if you just look fly all the time and if you sound cool all the time. Allow yourself to be vulnerable. In modern day society, the celebrities are the ones that can give it to you straight. The celebrities are the ones that are now not letting you know how rich and famous you can be and pursue your dream as some empty promise that only 0.5% of the population will ever get anywhere close to achieving. No. It's the ones that let you know that, no, you're going to eat shit throughout your life, but remember your passion. I've been through it too. I'm going to go through it in 2 weeks just like you. I'm going to go through a slump. And we're all in it together. Just remember why you're here. Remember what matters most. And when you find yourself at that point, when you've reached that point in your career, and somebody else is going through some pain, you can sit down and you can talk to them and you can let them know what you did to get through that as well. So to anyone listening, if you're a creator, if you're an artist, if you're a producer, or if you're just somebody that's you're really doubting yourself right now, know that you're supposed to. And sometimes life sucks ass. But you're not special. You're not special in the negative sense of the word. You're not a unique failure. You're just a regular human being. And we've all been through it. And trust me, everything will be just fine. All right. With that said, thank you for patiently listening to this, because I know it was a bit of a somber art talk today, but I thought you needed to hear it. And I love you all with all my heart, and happy painting. Take care.